Hey guys, it's Ash, and many of you guys have asked me about my thoughts on the sneak peeks and how the upcoming update will change things. In this video, I'm going to give you guys my explanation of the changes and how they will impact every type of player. It's a lot to process, so I'm going to summarize everything in one video. I'm going to give you guys my unbiased opinion on all of this, whether the changes will actually benefit all of us or not. Before delving into how these changes will affect gameplay, let me start by giving you guys my interpretation of this update. The reasons why I believe Supercell has decided to make these changes. Also, take into account that I'm in no way sponsored by Supercell, and these are my sole unbiased opinions of the upcoming changes. So why did Supercell make such a big change? Well, Supercell will never outright admit that it wasn't their intention to make this change, but in actuality, they didn't want this. Believe it or not, Supercell would much prefer having how things were to make their players happy and have them continue to play and enjoy the game. However, this change was bound to happen. It was only a matter of time. This whole update basically stems from people placing their Town Hall on the outside for free shield. And what's wrong with that? Well, the whole notion of placing your Town Hall on the outside of the base to obtain the free shield may sound like a cool strategy, but it's not. It's not a strategy, it's just common sense. Those who were smart enough to understand it did it, while those who weren't were either trying to gain trophies or just weren't able to grasp that concept. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is that Supercell never intended for this to be a strategy in the game. It just sounds silly for someone to place their Town Hall, which is meant to be the most valuable building, on the outside for attackers to freely destroy it while villagers run inside it for protection. It's just silly. The big problem is that this is such a key strategy and it takes literally no effort to accomplish. And what this means is that once everyone knows about it, they will also follow, and soon you will have everyone placing their Town Halls outside. Jonas, a Supercell game developer, stated that 80% of attacks were Town Hall snipes. When I first heard that, I wasn't surprised. It made sense. The only reason you don't see as many Town Halls outside is because most of them are all hiding behind the shield, because they place their Town Halls outside. Think about it. If you were to place your Town Hall outside in Masters League, you will get sniped immediately because people want that free loot bonus. It's obviously 80% now, but that number had been growing over the years, and in a few months, it could possibly have been 90%. Now, if at least 90% of players had their Town Halls outside, then it would be ridiculous. It would break the game. We have people who are Town Hall 7s and they're in Titan League solely by sniping Town Halls outside. We have people farming in Masters who simply just search for Town Halls on the outside just to get that loot bonus. As a competitive player who values skill and strategy, I'm opposed to these methods of farming and trophy pushing. So then, why did it take so long for Supercell to fix this problem? Well, believe it or not, Supercell was well aware of this problem since the early days of when they first created the game. So why didn't they fix the problem there and then? They didn't fix this problem earlier because they knew that it was popular among many players and that the formula of the game has been working perfectly. It made them the top game in the App Store, amassing millions of dollars, so they didn't want to risk tampering the formula and losing millions of players. So then why make the changes now? The reason Supercell has decided that it's about time they fix this problem is because they've already established themselves as the premier mobile app game, and because it was bound to happen. They had to fix this problem sooner or later for the overall health of the game. Not only because of that, they know that this has been a very hyped up update with lots of great content ahead, so they felt that it was the right time to introduce these changes that may not appeal to a large population of their players. They have a way to compensate for it with the new content. And that was a pretty smart thing to do, as you have millions of players in suspense for what new content Supercell has in store for them. And ClashCon definitely has set that hype and expectation very high. So now let's get back, discussing how these changes will impact farming. Now that Town Halls are going to be in the inside of bases, how will this impact farming? In my opinion, it's not going to or shouldn't affect farming a whole lot, unless you're the type of player who snipes town halls for loot bonus. Not only does that not require any skill, but it's also not an enjoyable way to farm. What about maintaining trophies? Will it be tougher to maintain trophies at like Crystal League for a Town Hall 9? Well, maintaining trophies will of course take more work. You will now need to actually focus on winning almost every raid by either taking the Town Hall or obtaining 50% damage, since there will no longer be any Town Halls on the outside to snipe for free trophies. What about efficiency in terms of using a few troops to steal a lot of loot? Well, you can still do that at lower leagues, but not often. However, you will not be able to always do it, as otherwise you will quickly lose a lot of trophies and probably fall to Bronze League. Thus, you will still need to focus on winning more. While you will not be able to efficiently farm at higher leagues such as Crystal with an incomplete army, as you will lose trophies too quickly and not be able to regain them quick enough. Will I still be able to attack dead bases for loot? Yes, you can still search for and attack loaded collectors on the outskirts of a base. No defender will place their Town Hall on the outside anymore, as they will not only lose trophies and resource, as the Town Hall is now considered another storage unit, but will also not be given a shield. However, they will gladly keep their non-defensive structures, their collectors, barracks, camps, and other stuff on the outsides, as this will attract attackers in attacking the structures outside so they can quickly obtain the 30% destruction and get a shield. Thankfully, Supercell hasn't meddled with what players love doing the most, finding and attacking dead bases. Will I still be able to use efficient army compositions like BAM and Barch to farm in lower leagues? Yes, you can still farm with them in lower leagues like Silver and Gold just as you did before. What about higher leagues like Crystal and Masters? And what about getting loot bonus? Yes, but maintaining trophies will be tougher. You will no longer find Town Halls on the outside of the base, so you can't get free loot bonus and trophies anymore. Thus, you will need to focus more on winning by 50%ing bases. Which league will be the best league to farm in? I get asked this all the time, and I will probably get asked this a million times when the update hits. My advice is continue to do what you are doing. But if you are farming in higher leagues such as Masters and a large portion of the loot you make comes from sniping Town Halls, then after the update you should continue to farm in Masters. If you find that you are still able to maintain trophies and still make the same amount or better loot than you did before, then continue farming there. If you find that maintaining trophies has now become a daunting task, then you may want to consider dropping to Crystal. While if you're a Silver League or Gold League farmer, then continue farming there. In my opinion, less frequent Town Halls on the outside won't really have much effect on farming in Silver or Gold, unless you really rely on sniping Town Halls to maintain trophies. Supercell has introduced the idea that if you deal more damage to a base, you will obtain more loot bonus. That's cool, it's nice to get rewarded for doing more damage. However, this shouldn't significantly change your preferred farming style. You will obtain slightly more resource by 70%ing a base than 50%ing it. This does not mean that you should start utilizing stronger troops like wizards instead of archers. Why? Because you still need to consider efficiency. A wizard takes 8 minutes to train, so even though it will allow you to deal more damage to a base and possibly get more loot bonus, you will not be able to raid as much if you were to use archers instead. Supercell wants to stress more skill involved in attacks, by using weaker troops, more efficient troops to effectively destroy bases will continue to reward you with more resource quicker. And it should always be like that, as it requires more skill to defeat a base with weaker troops. Now that the Town Hall offers loot, should we now focus on core diving to farm? Yes and no. You will need to weigh your options, your risk versus reward when breaking inside a base. More attackers will definitely start core diving more. You should cook stronger armies overnight to use them when you wake up in the morning, or if you're planning to log off for more than 30 minutes. You will very likely earn a favorable profit this way if you can successfully core a base. Also, if you are using your Archer Queen to farm with and are looking for an efficient army to farm with and break inside the bases, then go with the standard giants with Barch or giants with Bam Army, which utilizes giants, barbarians, archers, wall breakers, and sometimes minions. With this, you can not only attack loaded collectors on the outside of a base, but have the option to break inside the base with wall breakers and have your giants and barbarians shield your archer queen. What about our old farming bases that has town halls outside? How will we get shield and protect our resource? Well, the most game-changing aspect of this update is not farming, it's defending. You can no longer obtain free shields by placing your town hall on the outside of the base. So what do? Well, I will definitely be working on new farming bases for Town Hall 8, 9, 10, and 11 players to go along with these changes once the update hits. So look out for that. Getting shields will definitely not be as easy anymore, but this just means that you'll have to attack to retrieve your losses. Also note that you won't lose all your shield if you choose to attack after obtaining shield. So for example, if you went on defense and lost 200,000 gold and 200,000 elixir and got hit by 60% damage, then you'll receive a 14-hour shield. You can then go nexting and browsing for a base to attack to make up for your losses. You will not lose shield from nexting. However, once you attack a base, you will lose 3 hours of shield. So say from your attack you obtained 200,000 gold and 200,000 elixir. So overall you made up for your losses, and at the same time you only lost 3 hours of shield. So you still have 11 hours of shield left. So I personally like this system. It has us attacking more, and it also rewards good base designs and better defenses. For a farmer, there wasn't much of a reason to have high level defenses when you can just get a free shield by placing your town hall outside. Now the game rewards you for upgrading and having stronger defenses. What about trophy pushing? How will trophy pushing change? Well, if you're planning on pushing very high, you will need powerful defenses, as you can no longer hide behind them by placing your town hall on the outside by getting 1 star. I know many players in Champion 1 do this, even with max defenses, so attackers can generously 1 star them. This is also another reason why it's so hard finding anyone to attack in Champion 1 and why the trophy offers are so low. It's because most players in that range are hiding behind the shield, which they quickly obtain by getting sniped. You will no longer be able to obtain a shield by placing your town hall outside, which will force real attacks on you. And what this means is that players now have better options and can cloud less by finding bases to attack, as all of these bases won't be hiding under a shield they obtained so readily. Other changes that were made was that the minimum trophy offer that you can now find is 6 trophies instead of 1. What this really means is that if you 1-star one of these bases, you will obtain two trophies instead of 1. While if you 2-star them, you will obtain 4 trophies. And I really like this. It was much needed for players in Titan and Legend Leagues, as it rewards you with more trophies by getting more stars, instead of these attackers 2 or 3 starring these bases and only getting rewarded with 1 trophy. Even if you're a poor attacker, all you needed to do was 1-star bases to get to Legend. And I really think that that needs to be fixed, as well as the ridiculous trophy losses on defense. Well, that will be all that I'll talk about in this video. Hopefully it was a very informative video. As a last note, I just want to assure you guys that the game isn't dying in any way. It will only get better from here, and we can start to see more competitive, fun, and strategic attacks while also having fun and making tons of resources by farming. I just hope Supercell continues to walk in the right path. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll try my best to answer them. I'll see you guys again soon. Take care.